Chatfuel School is now in session. Welcome to our weekly class where the Chatfuel team and the top experts in the industry will cover the most important topics you need to know as a chatbot builder and marketer. I'm Andrew, Chatfuel's head of video production.
I am Bojana, Chatfuel's content manager.
Imagine this. You're dropped down into the middle of a foreign country, you've never been there before, and you don't speak the language. Obviously, this would make it extremely difficult for you to do basic things like find food, find a place to sleep, and, other basic things too, like getting a job, making friends, all of that would be increasingly challenging. And this is what it used to feel like for marketers and business owners when they wanted to do things like build chatbots, automate their email campaigns, and launch an e-commerce store. It was challenging for them because they needed to know a foreign language, which is coding and programming. But now, with the advent of no-code tools, all of that changes, makes life a whole lot easier. We're at the start of what you could call a no-code revolution, which means there are hundreds and thousands of no-code tools out there just at your fingertips for you to use and make doing business a whole lot easier. You can, of course, use them, as we mentioned, to build websites, design sales funnels, build entire businesses all yourself without ever seeing a single line of code. And that's powerful. It gives people the ability to do things that change the world. Or, maybe that's a little dramatic, but you can at least change the world inside your business and grow your sales. So today, of course, we're talking about a specific genre of no-code tools, which is e-commerce marketing tools, right? And to talk about that with us, we have 4 superstar guests lined up, each of which is going to tell us about their no-code e-commerce marketing tool and how you can use that to grow your business. So Bojana, tell us a little bit more about these 4 guests today.
Hi Andrew. Hi everyone. Today we have 4 amazing guests. Each of them will talk about no-code tools for e-com, and each of them is specialized in different channels, from SMS to video to chatbots, and even beacon technology. I won't lie, I thought it was bacon and I was a little bit confused, but it's beacon. So Andrew, who is our first guest?
All right, so kicking things off, we have Sneh. Sneh is the senior content marketer at a company called Mobstack, which does a lot of proximity marketing. That's the whole gist of it. So they specialize in technology like beacons, geofences, and near-field communication. These are all tools that send push notifications to a person's device when you're physically in an area. And it might sound complicated, but surprisingly, believe it or not, it is no code and super accessible to e-commerce marketers out there. Some of Mobstack's clients include Nike, Nestle, Emirates, and Google. And I just got to say, you've made it when Google is coming to you for tech help. So well done on that. Now, before we get into all the specifics of how this technology works, we got to talk a little bit about Sneh because she is extremely chill. For example, she loves meditating, watching Netflix documentaries, and sleeping too. I mean, who doesn't love sleeping? And I feel like those are really 3 activities that sum up our quarantine well, right? Meditating, Netflix, and sleeping. You just can't go wrong. Now, a funny story about Sneh and her love of sleeping. When she was growing up, she would always sleep in. And her parents basically said, hey, Sneh, you got to wake up early. In the real world, people aren't going to pay you to sleep. But she kind of stuck it in her parents' face earlier this year because she was selected to be, and I quote, a sleep intern for a mattress company. Yes, you heard that right, a sleep intern. Sneh calls it the best 3 months of her life and says that if you are good at something, you should not do it for free. So I'm jealous of her. Well done. That's an amazing story. Anyway, our first question for Sneh was basically, how can e-commerce brands benefit from using proximity marketing, even if they're entirely online and they don't have a physical storefront? The example she gave us was by Campari, which is a beverage company.
BeaconStack's platform also supports NFC technology, and a really cool use case of NFC would be what Campari did a few years ago. they had produced these fridge magnets which had NFC embedded inside them. So when somebody tapped on the NFC tag, they were able to reorder the product again and again. And that's something that is really easy to replicate. So all you need is an NFC sticker and your physical product, and you just have to paste it on there. And for the end user, the experience is just as seamless because you don't really need an app to view what's embedded in the NFC tag.
Wow, how cool is that? It reminds me of Amazon Dash buttons. You just click a button in your home and it automatically reorders whatever you ran out of. I bet the Dash button for toilet paper was popular at the beginning of the pandemic. Seriously, serious thought. These NFC tags can be really helpful. First, they reduce friction for customers. Second, they boost their lifetime value. And third, it gives them a seriously memorable and unique experience with your brand. Next snack told us about how brands can use geofences for e-com.
So placing a geofence around a property that you don't own is also known as geoconquesting. And one of the best examples of this is the Whopper Detour campaign by Burger King. And what they had done is place a geofence around all the McDonald's. And once you get within 800 meters of a McDonald's, you could open the Burger King app and order the Whopper for 1 cent. And then the app would take you to the nearest Burger King.
Okay, Burger King. Okay, kind of savage, but I like it. Well done. Very original. You really got to wonder, too, what was going on behind the scenes in McDonald's marketing department when this campaign launched. For me, I imagine that it was those 3 emojis that you see on TikTok, the 2 eyes on the side and the lips in the middle, just like, how are we going to respond to this? What do we do? So fascinating and great example. Now, the only downside with geofences is that, as was mentioned in that ad that you just saw, users have to have an app downloaded to get these push notifications. But really, it makes sense. You can't be spamming, absolutely everybody with a phone inside a large area. So I get it. NFC tags, on the other hand, which we mentioned earlier, do not require an app, though, because they have a very small range and the user has to very deliberately take action. So those are kind of the differences. You can compare and see what would work best for you. Now, lastly, Snat told us about QR codes, and she says they are the easiest proximity marketing tool by far that you can get started with.
QR codes, as you know, are really versatile. They can help you create contactless technologies. For e-commerce brands especially, you could have these QR codes on your products or any other marketing collateral that you create. And what it does is seamlessly connects your offline marketing to your online store, or it could open up a chatbot experience, or you could use it to collect data about how people are using your product, where they're scanning it from, and also for retargeting online.
This whole story about QR codes and contactless technology reminds me of past Chatfuel School episode where our guest Mackenzie told us how she helped a restaurant client make a digital menu with QR codes at the table. And we'll leave you the link below so you can jump right on and watch it and maybe copy something, maybe got inspired or something like that. But speaking of QR codes, there is a lot of possibilities and a lot of ways you can use QR codes for e-com. Let's talk about 2 or 3 examples. You can put it to a product in your store, like shoes or dresses or something like that, and the customer can scan it and order online. If the size is out of stock in the store, they can check maybe the story behind the brand, the story behind the shoe, maybe how to combine that shoe with dresses or pants, or you think about it. Or you can choose to put the QR code in the box of an order you're shipping and encourage users to leave a review or send them a coupon when they scan it. And you can also choose what kind of content you can put it in depending on your brand story, on your mission, and things like that. Use your imagination. There is a lot of possibilities out there. And thank you, Snack, for sharing your insights about amazing no-code tools. You guys, if you want to learn more about cutting-edge no-code tech, you can do it at mobstack.com. And because Snack mentioned earlier Burger King's Whopper Detour campaign, we will watch now video together so we can all see how that worked. And we will be back in the next 60 seconds with next guest.
Hi, we're just here to order the Whopper. Whopper?
This is McDonald's.
Yeah.
And,
We don't have the
but you don't have the Burger King Whopper here.
We don't have Whoppers here. This isn't Burger King.
No. The app for Burger King. You see it?
I believe you, I see it, but we don't have that. Okay, where's the Burger King?
Right. 4 blocks to your left.
So obviously Burger King is no stranger to creating memorable marketing campaigns. And another example that rings a bell for me is the Halloween Whopper. This was the normal Whopper burger that Burger King has, but they had substituted out the bun for a black bun. And to me, if you saw the pictures, I mean, it was absolutely stomach turning. I would not go within 6 feet of that thing, but obviously some people liked it. More power to them, not here to judge. But no matter what your taste, there's one thing for sure, and that's that Burger King definitely knows how to grab your attention. Now, anyway, on a completely different note, our next guest of today is Victoria. She's the head of content at SMS Bump. And SMS Bump, basically an SMS marketing platform, as you could probably guess, but the twist is that it's designed with e-commerce in mind. Before we get into all the tech of that though, some fun things about Victoria that you may not know. Number one, she's experienced in event management, like organizing parties, charity events, and big gala dinners, so definitely make sure she's on your guest list. Also, every Saturday morning for the last 26 years, yes, 26, not 25 or 24, but 26 years, she watches cartoons. She makes it her mission to do that. That's commitment. Some cartoons that she likes are Courage the Cowardly Dog, Ed, Edd and Eddy, and these, even though they're completely unrelated to e-commerce, give her the inspiration she needs. And in case you were wondering, my favorite character from Ed, Edd and Eddy was Plank, that slab of wood. And speaking of wood, you know where wood comes from? Trees. And you know what grows on trees? Money. I mean, not really, but a guy can dream. Anyway, speaking of money, we asked Victoria, how can e-commerce businesses use no-code tools for SMS marketing, like SMS Bump, to grow their sales and make money?
The app actually allows them to send them different types of notifications and reminders, for example, such as updates on their order or their shipping confirmation, if there's a new product available on the store, and recover abandoned carts with abandoned cart reminders, and we all know how important that is, as well as successfully do product upsells and cross-sells, win-back campaigns, and just so many more options with our automations.
I guess you can imagine how useful this would be for your e-com store and for your e-com business in general, but let's revise it together. Let's say you're selling the shoes we talked about earlier, and I come to your website, I found your fabulous shoes, I add them to cart, I put all my details, and suddenly my phone rings and I took the call, and all my day went in totally different direction, and I just forgot to finish the cart thing, and I didn't order the shoes, but I really want the shoes, I just forgot. What will you do? So if you use SMS bump, you can send text a reminder to me to come back and complete my purchase, and it will just pop up on my screen, and it will definitely get my attention, and you can do that with every user that actually fill out the details and it just didn't finalize the purchase. Speaking of that, did you know that you can do the same thing via Facebook Messenger with Chatfuel's cart reminder feature if you are selling on Shopify? You can find more info in this description, but you can also jump to our blog and read more about it there. So now that we spoke about no-code technology and how to send text messages with them, the question is what would you say? How would you customize the message? Here's what Victoria says.
You always need to try and make your SMS as personal as it can be. Personalization is what will make your SMS stand out. It is what will appeal to your customers, show them that you really care about what they're looking for, what they want, what they're interested in, and will ultimately help you beat the competition and make more sales.
Okay, so let's go back to that ice cream example here for a second. And before we do, yes, I fully realize every example and all we talk about here on Chatfuel School is food. But I mean, let's face it, what else is there to do during quarantine than eating? And when you're not eating, thinking about food. So anyway, in that example, obviously you wouldn't just want to say, hey, you forgot to finish your order. It's boring, it's dull, it's black and white, it's not very lively, right? A much better personalized approach would be, hey, Bojana, grab a spoon. Your tub of chocolate ice cream is melting. Order in the next hour for 10% off. Again, the second way, much more engaging. It's personalized with the shopper's name. It acknowledges the product they want, and it's using an incentive, 10% off, that really appeals to what they want. Now, our last question for Victoria was basically, kind of like Facebook Messenger, which we use here at Chatfuel. SMS is a very intimate channel for communicating with prospects and customers. So how should marketers be sensitive to that?
In order for this channel to remain as successful as it is right now, brands really need to consider and to think twice before they send yet another SMS campaign. Bottom line, I think if done in moderation and with consideration of the customer, SMS will keep its insane open rates of 98% and more, and click-through rates of 35% and above, and return on investment up in the thousands.
So basically, spamming customers hurts your brand and the effectiveness of SMS messaging overall. So please don't do it. Please. Think about what happened with phone calls. People used to answer all calls. Whenever the phone rings, who is it? But now, because of the robocalls, spams, people who always call to sell you something, to do some stats, to do some promotion, right now, people only pick up if the number is recognized. If not, it's not important. So you don't want that to happen to your SMS message. So please be mindful about how many you send them. Thank you, Victoria, for sharing this awesome tips with us. And you guys, if you want to learn more about SMS marketing for your ecom shop, you can find more at smsbump.com. But before we move on to our next guest, let's take a quick video break. Here's a beautiful, super inspiring video from Webflow, no-code website builder, about the age of no-code. We'll be back in 90 seconds.
Today, The world runs on code. Every text you send, every website you visit, every screen you swipe, it's all driven by code. Code that only a fraction of the world can even understand. And that's a problem. Imagine if only 1 out of every 400 people knew how to write. Think how many world-changing ideas would have never seen the light of day. We'd be stuck in the dark ages. And when it comes to software development, we kind of are. So what if, instead of writing hundreds of lines of code to add new features to your website, you could just design them directly on your website? What if you could create the next world-changing product without writing a single line of code? That's the future for creators, and it's about to change everything. It's time to unleash the power of software development to everyone by making it visual, so anyone can harness the power of code to build a website, an app, or an entire business without actually writing it. At Webflow, we're doing exactly that. We're empowering creators to design, build, and launch amazing things. No code required. Welcome to the future of software development. Welcome to the age of no code.
If this video doesn't make you feel inspired about no-code revolution, nothing will. Actually, one of our upcoming episodes is about using video to sell your products and services, and we invited animation studio that produced that video to be a guest, so stay tuned. And you can also sign up to get a reminder on Messenger when we premiere that episode using the link in the description, so be my guest. I'm already super excited and you should be too. But let's get back to this episode. Our third guest today is Dana Tran. I think everybody knows her and I'm her huge fan. She's the co-founder of Codless Bot and no-code tool for supercharging your messenger chatbots. She's one of the pioneer of using messenger chatbots for marketing, and she's also a contributor to Social Media Examiner, world-class publication for social media news. And when it comes to building e-com chatbots on Chatfuel, her number one tip is similar to that what Victoria said about not spamming people with SMS marketing. So people, make sure to build a high quality user experience for your customers. Dana will say more about how.
How would they benefit from the chatbot? Because the last thing you want is for them to get annoyed every time they receive a new message from you. Your bot should be helpful, it should be fun, it should provide people with a memorable experience. And ideally something that also matches your brand and business. Because unlike a website, messenger bots can be very interactive, so try to leverage this whenever possible.
So basically, websites are like, plain Cheerios, and messenger bots are like Lucky Charms. They're colorful, kind of like my shirt here. They're sweet, they give you a sugar rush and a dopamine high. On a normal website, you might see a pop-up like, enter your email for 10% off. Whereas with a messenger bot, which you can embed on your website, by the way, you can capture the user's email with just one click. It's frictionless, which leads to higher conversions and more sales. Now, another use case for e-commerce shops using Messenger is to provide personalized product recommendations based on the user's needs. And speaking of needs, Dana told us about 2 of her Chatfuel plugins that e-commerce sellers need to try. And those are her digital scratch card and her spin the wheel plugins.
I think both will be especially useful for e-commerce bot. You can use it in cart abandonment campaigns, Facebook ads. You can share the scratch card or spin wheel with new visitors to kind of encourage them to make a purchase. And as for the scratch card prize and spin wheel prize, you can offer users a free gift or a personalized coupon with the person's name and include an expiration date to kind of nudge them to take action a little sooner rather than later.
Let's go back to the shoe example. Like, I know I'm obsessed with shoes today, but you get the point. So let's say you want to retarget me for those shoes I forgot in my cart. So Facebook ad can say something like, scratch for a chance to get one additional pair of shoes for a price of one, and send me to a messenger to do the scratching. Or if I abandon my cart, the bot could say something like, spin the wheel to get up to 50% of your order. It's engaging, it's unique, and it will get the user attention. I would definitely scratch the thing, like additional pair of shoes. Yeah, why not? But then you had one last parting piece of wisdom for us about building successful ecom messenger bot. Figure out the end goal first, then design the experience.
I think it's super critical that bot builders take a step back, sometimes away from the computer, and think about the problem that they're trying to solve. Are you trying to help users learn more about your product? Is it cart abandonment? Do you want to encourage users to leave a review or incentivize visitors to finally make that purchase? What problem is it that you're trying to solve? And unless you have the answer to that question, you really shouldn't start building anything just yet.
That's very well said. At the end of the day, if you don't keep that end goal in mind when you're building the experience, then your users probably aren't going to get much value from it, and it's just going to hurt you at the end of the day. So big thanks to Dana for joining us today and obviously sharing her best practices and no-code plugins for e-commerce on Messenger. Obviously, you can try all of Dana's tools at codelessbot.com. Of course, no coding required, which is music to everybody's ears. Now, finally, before hearing from our last guest today, here's a video showing another one of Dana's very popular Messenger plugins called PhotoScript. This plugin lets you create personalized images at scale. So for example, you could create a coupon with the customer's first name on it. We'll be back in 60 seconds.
There's no coding involved, no need to hire a developer, and there's no complex setup. You can use it to create personalized welcome images or coupons with your customer's name. Congratulate your students on a job well done with a personalized certificate that includes their score. And you can also use it to confirm registration, send out reminders for upcoming events, or use it in your cart abandonment campaign. Other than creating personalized images, you can also use it to create shareable cards to allow users to share a great deal with their friends, for example. The image in each card can be personalized with a name and other unique information. You can also customize the message and include up to 3 buttons. Users can quickly share this great deal with their friends by tapping on the share button next to the image. To give you a few more ideas, you can also ask users to share a challenge and get their friends to join, or maybe after a quiz, they can challenge their friends to beat their score. With PhotoScript, you can easily create a personalized image in 3 simple steps.
Last but not the least, we have our 4th guest, Nihil. He's head of marketing at Hippo Video, and that's a personalized video platform for businesses. And of course, it's no code. It's kind of like what Dana just showed us with personalized images, but for videos. Before we dive into it, we have a few fun facts about Nihil. He used to work at software company Zoho, where he and his marketing team doubled the company's revenue in just 12 months. That's worth celebrating, but Nihil is strict about how he likes to celebrate. Fun fact, he does not like to dance. He'll even avoid gatherings like weddings for that reason. I can understand that. But now back to business. First, we asked Nihil, why should e-com brands care about using videos?
What exactly you're doing is you're moving away from cold messages to warm greetings. So you used to send out these template text emails, which used to not get any response, and now you're just recording a quick video, and sending it across. So that is essentially the impact that personalized videos deliver. And that is exactly what hippo videos are about. So the essence is you move away from a cold bulk message to a warm greeting, and that is where the benefit of personalization comes to the fore.
So personalization, that seems to be the key word here, right? It's exactly what Victoria said earlier. Basically, by personalizing your messaging, you're connecting with your customers on a deeper level and therefore building trust with them, because you're actually taking time to understand them and their needs instead of just kind of shotgunning it and spamming and selling to as many people as possible. And it's exactly what we're doing right now on the show, if you think about it. Instead of just using a clickbait title and thumbnail to bring in as many people as possible and then screaming, buy Chatfuel now, buy Chatfuel, buy Chatfuel, right? That's not a great approach. Instead, what we're doing is kind of reeling you in with relevant advice and actionable tips so that over time you trust us. We're delivering value to you, right? It's meta, I know. Now, obviously, as we mentioned earlier, you can use Hippo Video to send one-off videos that you film for a specific customer. So, for example, I would say, hey, Rachel, Andrew here at Chatfuel. Thanks so much for signing up and becoming a pro customer. You can take that approach, but you can also use video templates to achieve personalization at a much bigger scale using data from your customer database.
And what Hippo Video's personalization engine does is it'll take this data that you have within your system and stitch these unique experiences. So it'll take data pertaining to one particular user and stitch it inside that particular template. So essentially, if you have 5,000 contacts in your list, every single user would actually get a unique experience, which is personalized to them. So it would talk directly to them. It will talk about what exactly they were looking for, and how this particular discount is very specific to what they are looking for.
Okay, so discounts. This is the perfect example. Let's say that Black Friday is coming up, which if you think about it, it actually is. It's not that far off. 2020 has been flying by, but maybe that's for the better. Anyway, let's say Black Friday, you want to run a coupon campaign. So what you can do is create a video template with some personalized elements. So for example, in the greeting text, you can personalize it with the user's first name. For the image, you can show the product that they last viewed on your website. And if you really want to go all out, you can personalize the music based on their preferred genre. So for me, definitely smooth jazz. So this is totally brilliant, right? It just cuts through the noise of traditional email marketing, which is, not super personal and very text heavy. And personally, I've never seen this done before. So what do you got to lose? Give it a shot. But besides just wowing prospects and customers with these personalized videos, another big benefit is if you mention that you sent a video in the subject line.
Add a video inside, and your open rates increase by 27%. So these are some of the advantages of using personalized videos. When somebody sees you directly on their inbox itself, it kind of builds a better connection. It builds trust. You can't hide behind words which are essentially a template. Right? You can't fake in a video, and exactly that builds a lot of trust.
Nikhil is right. You can't fake a video, and that's why this medium builds trust, especially if you are on camera. Either way, personalized content shows customers you care and increases engagement. It's a win-win. Nikhil, thank you for your time and for sharing your expert advice on video marketing for e-com. And you guys, if you want to learn more about the magic of Hippo Video, you can do it on hippovideo.io. And before Andrew wrap up with 3 takeaways from today's episode, we have a question for you to answer in the live chat here on YouTube or in the comments if you're watching this after the premiere. We'll be back in 30 seconds.
So I gotta say, for me personally, answering that question is kind of like asking a parent who their favorite child is. I'm gonna say I love all no-code e-commerce tools equally, but Chatfuel is my favorite. In all seriousness though, if I had to pick, the runner-up would definitely be Mobstack, just because of that Whopper detour campaign with geofences. I mean, it's just so innovative, so creative, and I love it. So I'm sold. I will give you all my money. Just make me a campaign. Anyway, as promised, here are our 3 takeaways from today's episode on no-code tools for e-commerce. Number 1, start with the problem first. We hear about all these cool tools, SMS, beacons, chatbots. They're fun buzzwords to use, and they are really cool tools. The temptation, though, is to pounce on all these opportunities and cut through the noise of your competitors. But realistically, you don't just want to let this shiny new tech distract you from your underlying goals of your e-commerce store. Prospects and customers don't really care about how you're delivering value to them or the tool you're using, as long as you are delivering value. So pick whatever tool is going to do that job best. Number 2, personalize the user experience. People want to feel special. It's just human nature. And you can meet that need by personalizing every marketing touch point. So greet the user by name, acknowledge their pain points, show them the products they want, all that jazz. And this is exactly why customer data is worth its weight in gold, because the more data you have, the more personalized and relevant your messages can be. So to achieve personalization, some of the tools you can use are video templates, SMS marketing, and of course, messenger bots. All of these do not require a single line of code. And finally, number 3, moderate your messaging frequency. This goes hand in hand with what we just talked about with personalization, because nobody likes spam, right? It's just annoying. Don't do it. So no matter what e-commerce marketing tool you use, focus on delivering relevant, valuable content, not just a constant stream of generic junk. Otherwise, you just ruin the customer's experience with your brand and potentially the marketing channel itself, which is a big no-no. You got to ask yourself, will the customer actually want to read this message, watch this video, or take whatever action I want them to take? Are they going to get something out of it? The golden rule should be treat others' inboxes as you want yours to be treated, which is spam free. So thanks so much for sticking around on today's episode. Join us next week, same time, same place, for another episode of Chatfuel School. Thanks for attending class today at Chatfuel School. Subscribe to our YouTube channel for even more actionable and educational content. And don't miss out on next week's class. Click the link in the YouTube description to get a reminder when we go live. We'll see you again next Friday at 8 a.m. Pacific. Happy botting.